Hello, and welcome to Food in Art, a wonderful opportunity for you to get a taste of how two human concerns, nourishment and beauty, have blended together through the centuries to create masterpieces. I'm art historian Elizabeth Lev, and I hope that you'll enjoy these bite-sized pieces of fun, facts, faith, and beauty about food. If only our mornings started as peacefully. Instead of belting back a cup of coffee or taking a cup of tea on the go, here we see a serving girl quietly approaching her mistress's room in order to bring her the morning chocolate. This pastel painting, The Chocolate Girl, was painted by Jean-Étienne Liotard in 1744. Liotard was a Swiss painter, and indeed, perhaps ironically, he became the great chocolate painter, doing several versions of images of people drinking chocolate. Chocolate had already been imported into Europe, perhaps as early as 1536 with the conquest of the New World. But it appears that chocolate as a drink was already used by Mayan culture as early as 500 BC. In that culture, they ground the cocoa beans and they mixed it with water, often adding peppers, hot pepper, in order to offset the bitter taste. That liquid made its way over to Europe, where the bitter taste and its unusual stimulating factors made it acceptable even during the period of Lent. The irony, of course, being that the principal thing that Catholics tend to renounce during that austere period leading up to Easter tends to be chocolate. But back in the day, its bitter taste and its strong stimulant, it allowed it to be something that could be consumed during a period where food was very, very regulated. However, that was until they started to add sugar and milk. The addition of sweeteners, the addition of milk to add the creaminess to chocolate, turned it in by the 18th century into an aristocratic and extremely luxurious drink. And we can see that in the vessel that the servant girl is carrying. It was called a trembleuse. So while there's a demi-tasse today and their mugs and their teacups, chocolate was served in a special plate which had a saucer with a well in which was inserted a tall, thin cup with a golden ring. The golden ring allowed the precious elixir to be transported without spilling, and also it allowed for easier drinking on the part of the person who was receiving it. So you would see a chocolate service usually given with a couple of sweet biscuits, sweet cookies, to offset the bitterness of the chocolate. It was sweetened, but not too much, and a glass of water to kind of clear the palate afterwards. And this became the fad for breakfasts and for light afternoon snacks among the aristocratic. This image, however, that offsets the luxuriousness, the heaviness of this chocolate with the beautiful, calm, pristine figure of the girl, helped to put forth the popularity of chocolate to the populace. If you look at her blush-colored bonnet and her porcelain skin, which recalls that lovely service that she holds in her hand, the pristine apron, which belies any sense of the way that chocolate mars or smears or stains. In fact, the only indication of the brown liquid within her cup is that brown bodice that she's wearing. This was such a successful image that it eventually became the model for the Dresden company when they were thinking about how to create a publicity for their chocolate, their hot cocoa beverage. And indeed, a version of the chocolate girl became the image of the tins of chocolate that were transported all over the world. It's a delightful way to see how art then becomes mass production and helped to popularize this drink everywhere.